Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, Modzville, back with another video, and today we're going to be trying something a little outside the ordinary. We have a Corona here, sent to us by Nacho Richard over on Twitter, and this is a Corona with a dying Emmc. Now, the WiiU has been in the news quite a bit recently. But this has been a thing on Corona 360s for many years now. The Emmc just starts failing. There can be various assortment of issues, it seems, but one of the more common ones is you can't format it. Things won't save properly. So let's try to format the console right now. Y format. Yep, there you go. So come on in here, we try to format it and it's just not working. Nothing's getting removed. Let's see what happens if we... Oh yeah, wire, dude. Okay. So it's like totally corrupted. So essentially what we're going to do is we're going to do a downgrade. We could replace the 4 gig eMMC module, but honestly the 16 megabyte Coronas are much nicer to have anyways. They're easier to update. Just dealing with the eMMC 360s is kind of a pain to do, so if we're going to be swapping it, I think it's a bit of an upgrade to downgrade the size of the storage to the flash memory. So let's pull it apart and give this a go. Well, alright, ladies and gentlemen, I've gone ahead and already wired this up here to my X Flasher 360. Now we're going to load up JRunner, and I would like to see if we can dump the eMMC and hopefully write the ECC to get into Zell and hopefully grab the CPU key and all of that. If none of that works, I suppose we're going to try just removing this bad boy, putting in the new NAND flash memory, adding all the resistors and capacitors that need to be added, and hoping that we could just write an ECC, boot into Zell, and get everything we need in order to build a new NAND, a Donor Nand. But we're going to start with this, see how it goes. Alright, here we are in JRunner. Let us see. Read. Let's see. Okay. It's looking like it's showing up. So it should be physical drive 6 here. Let's give it a read. Okay. Cool. Corona 4 gig. That worked out. Let's try to. So we're gonna go RGH3, and not sure if it's WinBond yet. Let's see if we can do it. That's right to H, yes. And the write was successful, apparently. Cool. yeah, so now we're going to RGH it and see if we boot into Zell. Hopefully we do. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, I've gone ahead and RGH this off camera here. So we got a resistor right there. Coming around. Needed the fix here. Let's go ahead and clean that flux. So we got the post fix, and since we are indeed going to end up with a NAND here, I'm gonna head and bridge these two pads because we're gonna need to write to the NAND once we swap that in. Well, all right. So the console just boots retail, so that means the ECC was not actually written to the failing memory there, and it's acting like we never wrote it because it didn't actually write, it seems. So I've actually off camera tried writing it about like 10 more times in quick succession, just like write, like create, write, and fired it up again, and same thing, it didn't write. So yeah, we're gonna get into pulling this thing off, wiring in a new package and a bunch of resistors and other crap, and then going from there. So let's do that. Okay, let's stop horsing around. I'm gonna pull this Emmc off the board. Man, this thing's on here good. Oh. Going to work it up. Not seeing any more solder balls floating around. That's good. All right, so I want to take to the diagrams. Okay, so it looks like we've got a lot of components to remove here. So we got all these resistors up here and quite a few down on the bottom, and then it's going to be quite a bit that needs to be added as well. So we're just going to float all these off the board. Okay. Editingville here from the future, and I just want to show you the various diagrams. So for the board we're working on, this is the diagram that I wish I had, but didn't find until after I did all of this. So orange is what we remove, and blue is what gets added for Corona V4 through V6. All of this, so refer to this. I'll have all these diagrams linked down below. If you want to pause it here and just use the diagram, here you go. Then for earlier Coronas, so this is the bottom of the board. This is what gets added. Bottom of the board, and this is what gets removed. All of these components here. This is the top of the board, and this is what gets added. The T-SOP, 2 resistors and 2 capacitors, and this is everything that gets removed. And that's all the diagrams. So let's carry on with the video. So here's that area where in the diagram it's got that T-SOP outline kind of package deal there. This guy stays, everything here gets removed. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that. And I'm really piecing it together from this diagram, the diagrams Red Overlord sent over, and a live stream from Mad Sharky's Customs from about 4 years ago, where he's doing all of this, and yeah. His board is similar to this board, so thankfully he knew what's up. Shout out to Sharky's. He just stopped doing 360 stuff. He hasn't posted in a while, but he made some of the most useful 360 content out there. Okay. Just gonna go over it. I think we're good. Cool. Now I'm just going to pull one off of parts Xenon I have. Make sure these pins take to solder well. Yeah, it's not bad. Figure I should tin these up probably first. Very nice. Okay, same shit. I'll flux it up. Okay, so if you're going to pull one of these chips like I just did, I'd recommend doing one side, like leverage up one side gently, and then do the other one, because I was really struggling to get them all molten at once, but just focusing on one side, pulled up nice and quickly, then going to the other side. That worked out much nicer for me. Pop. Okay, the main thing was we just line this guy up with the dot there. And we're going to want to do like one side then the other side kind of a deal. So start with one leg here. And then that's pretty good. Other leg here. Okay. good. Cool. I'll try it with the J-tip. Beautiful. Let's go one more time with this. Okay, so a lot of confusion going between the two, but referencing Sharky's video, he used a 100 NF capacitor here, as well as on the other side. So we'll go ahead and do that. And there's a whole lot, uses a bunch of 0 ohm resistors. I'll see if I have some. If not, I can get away with bridging it. Okay, we need a 10K resistor right here. Alright, and got another one, another 10K right here. So we just shove it into place. Nice. Okay. Cool. Okie dokie. Okay, so 10K, 10K, 100 NF, 100 NF. Now we need a shitload of 0 ohm resistors up here, or just bridged with some wire. Up to you. Okay, well, this is done. So let's recap here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 0 ohm 0402 resistors, 0 ohms, 100 NF capacitor, 100 NF capacitor, and 10K, 10K. Someone who wants to whip up a diagram with this would probably be helpful than having to follow this video down the line. Maybe I'll do it, I don't know. But that's the top side done. Now we're gonna flip it over to the bottom and install a bunch more surface mount components. Let's do it. Okay, we are going to start with this 2.2K. It's R2, R1, and it's kind of off on its own. Everything else is nearby one another. This guy is kind of out in La La Land. Very nice. Right, and this is the 100 NF. Well, alright, ladies and gentlemen, this is done. I did these resistors off cam, so these are the 10Ks. So if we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 10K ohm resistors, 100 NF capacitor here, and way off yonder we've got the 2.2K. Alright, so I've gone ahead and wired up my X-Flasher 360 to the NAND headers this time instead of the eMMC, obviously. And I'm gonna hook it up and try to flash the NAND backups we have from the 4 gig and see how that goes. Ladies and gentlemen, we got them. Now, I had to do a couple of things off screen to get this figured out, and I'm gonna run you through them right now just so we're up to snuff with what's going on. Okay, well, after I cut the footage there, I managed to find this diagram on 7sins, which is exactly what we needed. Wish we had that from the get-go, but whatever. So all the orange is what we needed to remove, and I missed a couple. There was a 0 ohm right here for R1, R10, as well as a 0 ohm right up here. Now I was able to write it before adding these, or write to the NAND, but this diagram recommends these, so you might want to add those too. Next, we need to build a donor NAND. That's why it wasn't booting for me initially. I tried just writing the ECC. You need a little more than that. So we'll come to the 7sins thread here. Okay, this is the thread RGH/JTAG, how to recover from losing dumps plus erasing/corrupting the NAND. Now, here is a bunch of media file links for the various donor NANDs. We want regular Corona for the 16 megabyte. Come on down here. I recommend just reading through it, but for the retail NAND, what I had to do is we copy this donor CPU key, paste that, console, select Corona, 16 megabytes. We are going to choose retail. Then we come on in here. NAND create donor. We'll go next. We got the CPU key. Open it up. So you're going to extract the Donor Nand, and you'll get a folder like this. Choose KV, and then over here choose the fcrt.bin, and for this we just go 2, go next, and then we will go finished. And then boom, it will create this update.flash. So then you come on in here, you write the NAND, and if everything's soldered properly, it should write just fine. And once that's done, or no, we would choose retail before writing it, I believe, right? So yeah, it switches over to glitch 2. Just tick it back to retail, go write NAND, and once that's finished, you'll go glitch 2, RGH 3, and then create Zell, write Zell, and then boom, that's where we are. Booted right up to Zell. And from here we are going to need to make another Donor Nand, because we're in Zell to get our CPU key and those fuses. So let's see if I can get my CPU key. 100. Get it. Perfect. Okay. Lockdown value is 6. Okay. Nice. So we didn't need to count any F's there. We just did it over Ethernet. So what we're going to do here is create donor. Got our CPU key. And let's see. Okay, so we're going to use donor KV, donor FCRT, lockdown value is 6. Okay. Finish. Okay, cool. Now we're going to flash this to the console, and it should boot retail. Or not retail, it should boot into, should be fully RGH. Okay, I'm going to write NAND. Still wired up, so why not? Hey now, WiiU coming in to interject that I did not do that the optimal way. And that is because we actually did get a NAND dump. So using those donor KVs, that would mean our DVD key would not be right, and therefore our disk drive would not work unless we went ahead and flashed the disk drive. So if you were able to dump your NAND like we were at the beginning of the video, the way you want to do this is we got that CPU key, and then then with that CPU key you come in, and your NAND's probably going to be here in output. I already did all this, so we'll come on in here and we get those NAND dumps, the 4 gig Corona NAND dumps. You punch in that CPU key that you were able to get from booting into Zell, and then just go ahead and write a just create a RGH3. Doesn't really matter. Just create XE build, and then once you have that update file created, we'll come on in here, or we will click extract files, and then you've got those files extracted. And with those extracted files, we can come on in and create a donor. Or before creating the donor, we're going to want to switch to Corona 16 megabytes, and you can go ahead and create a retail and an RGH3. Creating the retail, you would choose retail first, but for the sake of simplicity, we're just going to make an RGH3, get all these selected here, come on into NAND, create donor, go next. We've got our CPU key, and KV, come on in here and find your extracted folder here. So we'll go KV decrypted, next FCRT decrypted, next, and then choose whatever your lockdown value was when you got the CPU key in JRunner. And there we go, 16 megabytes, glitch 2, RGH3, lockdown value. Perfect. Click finish, you'll have an update file, and then boom, you're totally good to go. All of your information will be matching your console. You don't need to use the Donor Nand if you were able to get a dump. If you were not able to dump your eMMC at all, then you will have to do that previous method, and your disk drive will not work until you flash it with the DVD key that matches the donor KV. Hope that makes sense. Let's carry on. Ladies and gentlemen, would you look at that? Now I already skipped through the initial setup. This was in 480i and it was looking all goofy. Colors were all weird like Zell was, but yeah, it's back up. Now unfortunately, it is not, the DVD is not going to work if we hook it up, because the DVD key was lost in the fold here. But if we go back over to the desktop, we'd see it's looking for the DVD key of the Donor Nand. I'm not going to be able to recover the DVD key because this is a slim. I don't have the ability to dump that from the drive, but I can flash an unlocked board with this key, with the DVD key that's attached to the Donor Nand, and we should be good. Should be getting, you know, on top of having a working disk drive, we'll also have a totally, you know, one that can play backups as well as region-free disks, which is nice. But yeah, that is, that's it. There's a lot to it. Probably more effort than it might be worth for you, but it's a fun project, and it can be done if you have a dying eMMC and some time on your hands. You got a weekend, want a fun project, test your metal with soldering. You know, the 16 megabyte package might be a challenge. Yeah, it was a fun project. Can recommend. Well, anyways, guys, I'm gonna go flash this disk drive, but that's about it for this video. Thanks for watching. See you on the next one.